We welcome you to Maria Stein, home of the two-time defending state champion Marion local Flyers, on this Community Sports and Therapy Pigskin Preview. My name's Andy Lynch, and I'm joined by the head coach, Tim Goodwin. Just good to be back out here playing football again, Coach.
It is. We don't have pads on yet, but we're doing as much as we can, and it's exciting to be out here.
You approach things differently each year, I know, based on your personnel. How does this year's camp approach go?
Well, we got a lot of kids back, so we're going pretty fast as far as installing things. We're putting in a lot of stuff just like we typically do, but we're not real sure what direction our identity will go. So hopefully we'll have enough answers in that later on when we need something, we have it.
Adam Berkey, obviously everyone knows, committed to the University of Pittsburgh, or at least verbaled. How was that recruiting process for you as his coach, helping him along, guiding him, making contact with some of the coaches, or having the coaches contact you?
Yeah, well, and it's mostly communication. Coaches go through us, as the head coach of the high school, and then you communicate to the player and the parent, and that was mostly my role, was just communicating who was interested, trying to coordinate some dates and so forth.
How have you seen Adam grow over the summer?
Well, it's been a year-long process. He's a third-year quarterback, so that's something nice to have as a coach. But you can just see him get more and more confident, realizing that people are looking up to him, and he's going to set the tone of especially our offense, and he'll be out there some defensively as well.
J.C. Gottemeller, the knee injury during the state playoffs, how's he coming? And then Hunter Wilker as well with the off-season injury.
Yeah, they're both progressing pretty nicely.
Okay.
They're both on schedule or ahead of schedule. Hunter's pretty much full go.
Okay.
And JC, he looks full go, but we haven't started contact yet. We'll work him in slowly. Hopefully it'll be a long year for us, and we want him strong at the end, so we're going to do what we can to make sure that happens.
Just the 5 or 6 seniors from a season ago, so there is a strength back as far as playing time, as far as experience. But what would you say is the Flyers' strength right now, just a couple days in?
Well, just our experience.
Okay.
And especially in some key spots like the quarterback, the offensive line, which has to communicate a lot. The defensive secondary, we're all back in the secondary. We're pretty much back at the O-line. So, those spots in particular where communication is so key, I think that's our strength.
I came down to the scrimmage last year against Delphus Jefferson, noticed the T-shirts, ignore the noise. That was the theme last year. Your team did a pretty good job of that, won the state championship. Do you ignore the noise times 2 this year? How do you keep them focused after so much success?
Well, that's a little bit, of our focus, is keeping their focus. Especially even this year, we only have 9 seniors. So we're still playing, a lot of juniors and, some sophomores. And our concern really is we're not worried about the seniors because it's their last year.
Right. And
it's now or never for a senior. But the juniors, they could say, there's always next year, and so, as coaches and as seniors, that will be our job to keep them, playing week by week.
We talked to Delphus St. John's. They said our biggest rival's Marion local. We talked to Versailles. They said our biggest rival's Marion local. Throwing St. Henry, throwing Minster. You have a lot of rivals, it seems. Who is Marion local's biggest rival? Can you pick one, or is it a year-by-year basis?
It is kind of funny. We have long-standing rivalries with a lot of teams. The playoffs have changed things with us and St. John's.
Yeah.
That is a big rivalry. But it's kind of funny. It really comes down to at that year who's related the most to the other team. Just some years it's St. Henry. It seems like there's tons of cousins with St. Henry. Other years it's Minster. And so it's kind of a year-by-year basis. But they're all fun to play.
Sure. Coaching staffs don't always get a lot of accolades, especially the assistant coaches. I was just over at Fort Loramie, and Coach Bergbacher said, yep, Coach Toby's gone down the road to Marion local. He's from there, replaces Coach Luthman, who goes down the road to St. Henry. Just how important are those pieces, and what does Coach Toby bring to your team this year?
Well, I have a great coaching staff. I got a core group that's really been with me since 2003. Dan Canning, the defensive coordinator, he's my right-hand man. He's been with me since 2001.
Wow.
And, Kevin Ottie's been with me since 2003. Jason Shear's been with me since 2007. Then this year we added 2 new guys.
Okay.
One of them's Dan Toby, who's a Marion local grad. He's got a lot of experience as head coach at Vandalia, Butler, and then at Loramie. And we also hired a guy, Bob Guesswich. He's from the Cleveland area, but he's been coaching in Metro Nashville for the last 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So he brings us a unique perspective as well. And then my dad's been, coaching me since birth. So,
he's always coaching you.
Yeah, he's always coaching me.
Coach Goodwin getting ready for another season. Flyer football 2013. They're Division 7 this year in the new OHSAA format. And when we come back, we'll talk with a couple of the players. It's all brought to you by Community Sports and Therapy here on WOSN. Back at Marion Locals, 2-a-days for our 2013 Flyer football preview, brought to you by Community Sports and Therapy. And Adam Berkey down on the end, Jason Brunswick to my left, and we're surrounded by the future Marion Local football Flyers. Tweeted out a picture of the 2019 preview as they were doing our mic checks for us. Adam, the tradition continues with Marion Local football, 2 state champions. You see the little guys running around. Just how special is it to see the community involvement?
Oh, it's very special. I'm very blessed to be living in the community that I am, and I mean, it's a football community. Everybody's there on Friday night, and it's a special thing, and it's real special to see these managers out here, playing football in the end zone. And I used to be one, and I love coming out here and working with us varsity players, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a special thing.
Adam, how does 2-a-days feel different this year? As a senior, you've been through it many times. Does it have a different feeling?
A little bit, just because we are seniors now, and we're relied on to do a lot of things, and leadership's a big thing, because we lost 6 seniors last year, but those guys left a lot of leadership on the table for us, and we got to pick it up where they left off, and I think we're doing a good job of it so far, but we just got to keep continuing to work hard out here.
Jason Brunswick, left tackle and nose tackle. Give us the state of the offensive and defensive lines. How are things clicking in the early going?
Offensive line, we've got 3 guys coming back, but, we've got 2 new guys. And it's kind of an offense, you always got to try to find your identity. You got to find if zone blocking or man blocking is going to work better. Defensive line, we have some depth this year. We're bringing a lot of new linebackers in, so we have to be more dominant on the defensive line to help the linebackers out a little more.
Speaking about the offensive side of the ball, last year you had a few transitions. You had different offensive looks you thought you were going to go through, then you went back to a different one. Just what was that like as a lineman, having to adjust kind of week in and week out?
It was actually a lot of fun being able to scheme up different teams. I know Coach Goodwin really enjoys it. I don't think we really found our true identity till later in the year in playoffs. We were going from I form back to shotgun, and we were doing a lot of different things, going to ace formation. Once we actually found out what we were good at, though, it got really good.
Jason, what's it mean to be a senior leader for yourself this year?
You look up to this since 7th grade, really, since you start football. You've always looked up at these guys as kids, and now that you're actually out on the field being one of the leaders of the team, it's really special.
Adam, we've talked with Delphos St. John's, we talked with Versailles, still have the rest of the MAC to get to, but both those schools said Marion Local is our biggest rival. I know St. Henry's answer could be Coldwater, could be Marion Local. Minster's answer could be Marion Local, the biggest rival. Who would you say is your biggest rival?
I think it's we have a lot of rivals just because the MAC is so tough, but I think our biggest games this year will be, at the Anna and the Delphos and Coldwater, and we don't play Minster this year, and Versailles is going to be tough. So, we've had like our classic rivals like our Coldwaters, but this year, every week's going to be a battle, and it's going to be a test for us, and like you said, they're all out to get us because, we're back-to-back state champs, and we just got a big target on our back, so it's going to be one of those things where we got to be mentally ready to go every week.
Jason, plenty of good experience in the backfield. J.C. Guttemiller coming back from the injury. Hunter Wilker also coming back from the injury. What's it like to have those different types of backs behind you?
We've been blessed the last couple of years. We have great running backs. We've had a great rushing attack. It means a lot because at Marion, we've been throwing the ball obviously a lot more with Adam. We've got a great quarterback. But when that gets down to it, we run the ball. Having running backs like there, it really helps out a lot.
Flyers looking to run all over the place. They will be at Shawnee to open the season. We will have that game for you on WOSN, courtesy of our friends at 1150 WIMA, plus a number of other Flyer games throughout the regular season. You can check WOSN.tv for that schedule. When we come back, we'll talk with 2 more Flyers on our Community Sports and Therapy Pigskin Preview from Maria Stein on WOSN. Third and final round with Marion Local here in Maria Stein on our Community Sports and Therapy Pigskin Preview. I'm joined by J.C. Guttemiller, the junior running back, and Troy Homan, the senior wide receiver and sometimes linebacker. He might get in there a little bit. J.C., let's start with you. You got the big knee brace on. First of all, how are things progressing with your injury?
I mean, I've been able to go on offense and usually play throughout the whole practice. And if it's sore, I can take off a little bit, and coaches don't mind that, and I can just keep going however much I want.
How devastating was it to get hurt in the state championship football game? What were the feelings going through your mind?
Well, I was really upset, obviously, but I knew my teammates were able to pull out and win the game, and I trusted in them, and I knew they had my back, so yeah.
How nice is that to have a guy like Hunter who can step right in and let you ease back in here during the regular season so you can get fully healthy?
I mean, yeah, since I had my injury, it's nice, so he can sub in for me whenever I'm tired out on the field, and it's really nice.
Troy, take us through being a senior this year. Can you believe it's here, that you're a senior after all the years?
It's definitely flown by. I just remember our first 7th grade practice like it was yesterday, so having being a senior already, it's pretty unreal, so I'm excited.
Ignore the noise. That was last year's mantra for Marion Local football. You went out and won the state championship. Did you ignore the noise well, or do you have to do it even more this year, do you think?
I think this year we have to do it even more because after coming off back-to-back state championships, we definitely have a big target on our back, so people were saying stuff, talking dirt about us. We just have to ignore it and go out and play our best each week.
You get Shawnee the first week, and that has been just a dogfight year in and year out, Troy. What do you remember from this series, taking on Lima Shawnee?
Well, they're always really good competition. They're pretty well coached. They're always a tough game, and it's always been the first game. It's not always the prettiest, so it's just got to work hard, and whoever fights the hardest usually comes out the win in that game.
J.C. Guttemiller over 1,000 yards rushing during the regular season, 16 touchdowns as well. Do you think about numbers? Do you put goals in your mind individually, or do you just really focus on week by week for the team?
Well, usually it's for a team, and I just want to get a win and make it to the playoffs and then hopefully get it to state, and that's what I want to do this year, and maybe get 1,000 yards if it's possible.
The Flyers focusing on back-to-back state titles. This year in Division 7 with the new OHSAA alignment. I want to thank Coach Govan and all of Marion Local for stopping by, including the Ball Boys doing a great job being our live studio audience. Thanks to Joe Vernick as well, and thanks to Community Sports and Therapy for this Pigskin Preview from Marion Local on WOSN.